Today's card is a tidy little three-pack Tottenham Hotspur No Draw Bet at -172 against Fulham, Auburn +6 hosting Alabama, and USC -21.5 against UCLA. We're coming off a 2-1 card for +0.9 units that made Black Friday feel like found money. Texas didn't just cover, they popped Texas A&M's perfect balloon with Arch's 35-yard scamper and those late picks validating the rat line read in Austin. In Philly, gusty air and a missing Lane Johnson turned the script into a trench war, and our under never really sweated as the Bears bulldozed on the ground. Georgia's defense did its job bottling Tech's run, but a field goal parade and a sputtering passing game kept the Dogs from stretching the lead and cost us the cover. Net, solid day, 1 misread, 0 drama on the totals. Let's start in North London, where Tottenham are basically hosting a therapy session disguised as a football match. Spurs sit mid-table, coming off getting lit up by Arsenal and PSG. The home crowd is one more bad half away from posting their own tactics board, and yet they're still laying around -172 on the no-draw line against Fulham. That's the Spurs win we cash, draw we get our stake back set up, and it sounds rich until you look at Fulham's road resume. 0 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses, and 13 goals allowed away from Craven Cottage. That's more than 2 conceded per trip, exactly the kind of defense that turns Tottenham's "we promise we're still a big club" attack into actual goals. We love this as a no-draw bet because Spurs are high chaos on both ends. They've scored 20 league goals off just over 11 expected, but their defense has allowed 14 with an expected goals against north of 17. Translation, they finish like contenders and defend like a relegation scrambler, especially with Christian Romero suspended and a patched-up backline trying to play a high line on tired legs after midweek in Paris. Fulham create just enough on the counter to make a stalemate very live, so instead of sweating a 90-minute coin flip, we strip the draw out of the equation and just ask Tottenham's talent, edge, and desperation to win the game. Layer in the stuff the models hate, but bettors love. There's a yellow weather warning for rain, which means a slick pitch, skidding passes, spilled shots, and rebound goals. Referee Stuart Atwell is averaging more cards than a Vegas blackjack dealer, so every sloppy tackle becomes a free kick in a dangerous area. And with Fulham missing Anthony Robinson on that left side, Brennan Johnson versus a stand-in fullback is a mismatch Spurs can hammer all afternoon. Ugly, chippy, maybe even a little drunk looking. But in that kind of chaos, we trust the home firepower and take Tottenham no draw at -172. On to the main course, the Iron Bowl. Alabama is 9-2, top 10 in the rankings. Auburn is 5-6 with an interim coach, and yet the Tide are only laying 6 at Jordan-Hare. That number should scream at you like a fire alarm. In any normal season, this is Alabama -10 or -14, but the line has parked between 5.5 and 6, even with most of the tickets on Bama. When the market refuses to move a favorite with that kind of brand power, it's basically telling us Auburn +6 is the uncomfortable side that pays the bills. Matchup-wise, Auburn has exactly the kind of new problem Alabama hates. Deuce Knight just dropped over 200 total yards and 4 rushing scores in his first real start, and he turns the Tigers into a true 11-on-11 option offense. Bama's defense is elite snap-to-snap, but they rank near the bottom of the country in explosive runs allowed, especially from mobile quarterbacks. Knight attacks that weakness directly, and he's doing it in a game where there's almost no usable film for Alabama's defensive staff. Every zone read is a coin flip for a huge play, not a 3-yard plot into the line. On the other side, Alabama's supposed edge is the passing game, but Ty Simpson is deep in the turnover regression swamp. He's committed a giveaway in 7 straight games, he melts under pressure, and now he walks into a night game at Jordan-Hare where the crowd noise turns every third down into a panic attack. The Tide are one of the least efficient rushing teams in the country, so they can't just run the ball, quiet the building, and sit on a lead. They have to keep chucking it, which means more chances for strip sacks, tipped picks, and short fields for Auburn. Add in a decade of Jordan-Hare witchcraft in this rivalry, and +6 becomes a bet on chaos staying inside 1 score. We think Alabama probably survives, but we absolutely want the Tigers and the points. Finally, we stay in Los Angeles for the Crosstown Showdown, where the rivalry branding says war, but the numbers say curb stomp. USC is 8-3 with an offense that ranks top 10 nationally in expected points per play and passing success rate. UCLA is 3-8, riding a 4-game losing streak where they've been outscored by more than 30 points per game and sitting outside the top 100 in offensive efficiency, while their defense flirts with bottom 5 territory. That is not dog you want to back in a rivalry energy. That is please make it stop energy. USC laying 21.5 feels big until you remember what this Bruins defense looks like on tape. They're one of the worst front sevens in the power conferences and havoc and stuffs, which means they generate basically no negative plays. That's a terrible matchup against Jaden Miava, who leads the nation in QBR, already has over 3,000 passing yards, and loves to push the ball downfield. The Trojans are undefeated at home, averaging well north of 30 points in the Coliseum, and now they get to attack a UCLA secondary missing its best corner with zero pass rush in front of them. If Miava has 3 or 4 seconds in the pocket, this turns into a 7-on-7 drill. On UCLA's side of the ledger, the news is just as grim. Nico Iamaleava is banged up, the offensive line leaks like a colander, and when the Bruins have had to turn to the backup, the offense has basically gone off the grid. Combine that with a locker room already eyeing the transfer portal and an interim staff trying to land the plane, and you get the exact profile of a team that taps out once it falls behind a couple of scores. Lincoln Riley still has plenty to play for with 9 wins and bowl positioning, and he's not in the business of mercy against the neighbors. We're comfortable laying the 21.5 and expecting USC to ring the victory bell by something in the 45-13 neighborhood. So that's the card. Tottenham No Draw at -172, Auburn +6 in the Iron Bowl, and USC -21.5 in the battle for Los Angeles. We ride the chaos in North London, the voodoo in Jordan-Hare, and the talent gap at the Coliseum. As always, manage the bankroll, shop your numbers, and if your in-laws ask why you're so invested in a Fulham counterattack, just tell them it's all part of the holiday spirit.